humanity has always been obsessed with crossing boundaries. We crossed oceans once thought impossible to navigate. We stepped onto the moon, we split the atom, and with every new frontier, we were told the same thing, that we were expanding our understanding of reality. But what happens when science reaches a boundary it was never meant to cross?
They're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out.
Beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes, they have apparently in the bottom of the CERN this portal, this door where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions.
Deep beneath the grounds of Switzerland, hidden from the public eye, machines operate at energies powerful enough to recreate conditions that have not existed since the beginning of time. Officially, these experiments are designed to help us understand the universe. Unofficially, they have become the center of some of the strangest theories, unexplained events, and unanswered questions of the modern age.
So, in front of the door they have a room and they sit around the table. And I said, so yeah, what happened? He said, well, an entity came from this portal.
So let's explore the stories, the claims, and the mysteries surrounding one of the most powerful scientific projects ever created, and whether its true purpose is exactly what we've been told.
Some of the things that we are expecting are really there, and it might even be more, because they might be giving us things that we don't expect, which would be even more exciting.
Beneath the border of Switzerland and France, there was a tunnel, 27 kilometers long, built in a perfect circle, buried hundreds of feet underground. Inside it, scientists smashed particles together at nearly the speed of light. This was the Large Hadron Collider, the most powerful machine ever built by human hands. Officially, its purpose was simple: recreate the conditions that existed right after the Big Bang, study how matter formed, understand the building blocks of the universe. That was the official story. But was it the truth? You'll find out soon. When two proton beams collided inside this machine, they released energy that lasted only a fraction of a second. In that fraction of a second, scientists said something incredible could happen. A tiny window, a brief opening. Some called it a door. CERN never answered that directly. Then there was the tunnel itself. People asked why a machine built only to study particles needed to be this large, why it needed to be buried this deep, and why certain sections of it were never shown to the public. Some believed the tunnel wasn't just a particle accelerator. Some believed parts of it were designed for something else entirely. A passage, not just for particles, but for something larger. LHC First Beam Light 2008. In September 2008, the machine was switched on for the first time. Protons completed a full circuit around the ring. Scientists called it a historic moment, 25 years in the making. Then, 9 days later, it shut down. CERN said it was a faulty connection between two magnets, a technical fault, routine. But others weren't convinced. Something had happened during that first activation, something that required a quiet shutdown before the public could start asking questions. Then came a leaked interview that changed everything. In it, a former CERN official made a claim that had nothing to do with particle physics. He said scientists were already in contact with beings from other dimensions, that this contact was happening through the collider itself.
These beings that they're in communication with. So we're talking about the premier scientists on planet Earth right now, who are actively engaged, according to their own words, communicating with something with a personality, in their own words, from another dimension, and that's the purpose of the collider.
And that it wasn't an accident. According to him, that was always the purpose of the machine. Studying the Big Bang was the cover. Higgs boson, 2012. On the 4th of July, 2012, CERN announced they had found the Higgs boson, the particle the scientific world had been searching for decades. The press called it the God particle. World leaders congratulated them. But in the hours after the announcement, something else was being discussed, not the discovery. What might have opened the same moment the energy peaked. Some believed the Higgs boson wasn't the only thing found that day, that the conditions required to detect it, the collision, the energy, the window, also created something else. Briefly, down there in the dark, an opening, and whatever was on the other side of it had been waiting a long time. Norway spiral. In December 2009, something appeared in the sky over Norway that no one has fully explained since. It started as a blue beam, a single streak across the dark. Then it expanded. Within seconds, a massive spinning vortex had formed in the sky, hanging motionless above the horizon. People stood in the street and recorded in silence. Then it vanished, leaving no trail behind.
Many observers declare this event an elaborate hoax. No natural phenomenon could create such a perfect shape in the sky. But as more and more eyewitness accounts emerge, it soon becomes clear this is a genuine mystery.
Officials said it was a failed Russian missile test. That explanation was accepted and filed away. But December 2009 was not a random month. It was the same period. CERN was powering the collider back up after its 2008 shutdown. Scientists were running new tests. Energy levels were climbing again. That night, something opened over Norway. Hole punch sighting. Around the same period, a group of fishermen in the Gulf of Mexico recorded something strange in the sky above them. A perfect circular hole had formed in the clouds, almost like something had punched straight through from the other side. Scientists have an explanation for hole punch clouds: ice crystals, aircraft disturbance, atmospheric pressure. But the fishermen watching it form in real time weren't thinking about ice crystals. They were watching a hole open in the sky.
Bro, look at these clouds.
And whatever was on the other side of it wasn't visible from where they were standing. This wasn't the first time a shape like this appeared during a period of active CERN experiments, and it wouldn't be the last. Moscow's mystery. In October 2009, the skies over Moscow lit up with something no official body has explained to this day. A massive circular shape, glowing from within the clouds, motionless, hovering directly above the city. People recorded it from every angle. No statement was ever released. Then, 15 years later, in 2025, a bright green flash lit up those same skies again. Same region, same silence from officials. Two events, 15 years apart, same location, both during periods when CERN's most powerful experiments were running. CERN has never been asked about Moscow, and no one has ever publicly explained why these two moments align the way they do. Underground rituals. In 2016, world leaders gathered inside Switzerland's Gotthard Base Tunnel, the longest tunnel ever built, to watch what officials called an opening ceremony. What they watched was this: figures moved in formation, like something being summoned rather than performed. Then, from an opening behind them, 3 long dark shapes emerged, not walking, drifting, and inside that opening something moved on its own. No official statement ever addressed what was behind them. In another clip from the same ceremony, something appeared in the air above the performers, hanging there, still. It was shaped like an eye, staring outward for a few seconds, then gone. Across ancient texts, across cultures separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, one image keeps appearing. A single, all-seeing eye, connected to watchers, to beings that were never supposed to be here. The clip lasted 6 seconds. No one from the production has ever explained what it was. Classified fire portal footage. Leaked footage began circulating online, showing what people described as CERN, attempting to open something in the sky above an open field, a column of fire, rising and holding, not behaving the way fire behaves. CERN never confirmed the footage, never addressed it, never explained what was visible in it. But once it started spreading, it couldn't be stopped. And the question people kept asking wasn't whether it was real, it was why no one wanted to say it wasn't. Mysterious light opening. In another piece of footage, a light appeared in the night sky. Witnesses said it looked like something forming and then closing again, like a door that opened just long enough for something to pass through. Within seconds, it disappeared completely, leaving no trace behind. No official source ever explained it. No weather event matched the description. The footage remained unaddressed. Family car sighting. A family driving at night recorded something that filled the entire sky above their car. A deep blue light, then a white beam shot outward from its center, stretching across the horizon. The family pulled over. Nobody spoke. What they recorded didn't match any known atmospheric event. No storm system, no military exercise reported in the area. Just a beam of light, coming from something above them, pointing outward like a signal. CERN experiment over Switzerland. A massive glowing formation appeared directly above Switzerland, less than 30 kilometers from CERN's main facility. Witnesses said it didn't move the way clouds move. It held its shape, lit from within, no storm behind it, no lightning inside it. Some called it a stargate, others simply called it unexplainable. CERN ran no public statement that night. The formation eventually faded, but it appeared directly above the facility during an active experimental period. That detail was never addressed. New Jersey pink orb. In 2022, something strange happened in the skies over New Jersey. A glowing orb appeared, surrounded by pink light. Witnesses watched as it hovered for a few seconds before vanishing completely. But it didn't disappear cleanly. After it vanished, pink hues remained spread across the sky, lingering for several minutes. No aircraft, no explanation, nothing official. Just an orb, a flash of color, and a sky that looked different afterward. New Jersey disk sighting. Just days after the orb appeared, another video went viral from the same area. This time, a glowing disk was seen hovering in the sky, brightening steadily as people recorded it. Witnesses described the activity as unusual, almost as if something was building up energy. Some said it looked like it was attempting to open a portal, large enough to pull in everything beneath it. The disk eventually faded, but the timing, so close to the first sighting, left people questioning what was really happening over New Jersey that year. Rectangular doorway in sky. In another sighting, witnesses recorded something unlike typical cloud formations or lights. A rectangular shape appeared in the sky, with sharp, defined edges, almost like a doorway standing open against the clouds.
It's opening! It's like a door!
You hear that?
Wow!
It remained visible for several seconds before disappearing. No storm, no aircraft, nothing nearby that could explain its shape. To many who saw it, it looked less like a natural event, and more like something deliberately placed there. Red light spirits. In a separate sighting, red lights were seen swirling through the night sky, moving in patterns that didn't match any known aircraft or weather phenomenon. Witnesses described them as almost alive, twisting and drifting with no clear source or direction. The lights lasted for about 10 seconds before fading into the darkness. No explanation was given, and no similar event was reported in the area before or after. Giant Stargate rotation. In another clip, people recorded what looked like a giant ring, slowly rotating in the sky above them. The shape held together for several seconds, almost like it was spinning on its own axis. Some described it as a stargate, a term that's become common whenever these ring-shaped anomalies appear. It eventually faded from view, leaving witnesses staring at an empty sky, wondering what they had just watched. Tulsa, river glow. Near the Tulsa River, witnesses reported a steady, pulsating glow beneath the cloud cover one evening, near dusk. The light had no apparent source. It continued rhythmically for several minutes, with no lightning, no storm activity, and no weather alerts issued for the area.
It's getting brighter again.
Like it's under the clouds, pushing up.
Never seen the sky do that before.
People described it as consistent, almost mechanical in how it pulsed. To this day, no explanation has ever been confirmed for what was seen above that river. Tennessee smoke portal. In December 2025, a group of friends playing in their backyard in Tennessee noticed something massive forming in the sky above them. A giant portal made of smoke appeared, hanging in place for several seconds.
You hear that? It's humming, and the flames are inside it? That's insane.
Oh my god. Do you see that?
It didn't drift like normal smoke would. It just stayed there, almost holding its shape on purpose, before slowly disappearing. The group recorded the entire thing, still unsure what they had actually witnessed that evening. Daytime sky anomaly. In a separate daytime sighting, something briefly appeared in the sky before vanishing just as quickly. Unlike most of these events, which happen at night, this one occurred in broad daylight, making it even harder to dismiss as a trick of the light. Witnesses said it lasted only a few seconds. No explanation was given, and the footage simply ended with the sky returning to normal, as if nothing had happened at all. Blinking light sighting. A tourist recorded something unusual in the sky during their trip. Unlike a steady light from an aircraft, this one blinked irregularly, almost like a signal. What made it stranger was the rest of the sky around it. Completely clear. No clouds, no other lights, nothing to compare it to. The tourist kept recording until the light eventually faded, leaving behind footage that still circulates with no clear answer. Fire ring. In a remote location, locals recorded something massive forming above them. A giant ring, glowing like fire, surrounded by thick smoke. It hovered in place, holding its shape far longer than any natural formation should. Witnesses said it felt different from normal weather, almost like watching something burn from the inside without consuming itself. Eventually it faded, but those who saw it said they'll never forget how unnatural it looked. The truth revealed by Dr. Astrid. CERN presented itself to the world in one simple way: a place of science, a place of discovery, a place built to benefit all of humanity.
CERN is the living proof that science fosters innovation and that innovation fosters competitiveness. We need more of these partnerships between research and business, more ideas that go from the laboratory to the factory, and this will be an important pillar of a new European Innovation Act.
In October 2024, on CERN's 70th anniversary, officials spoke proudly about how the organization fostered innovation around the world.
70 years ago, many of our most brilliant scientists had fled Europe. Others had put their research on hold. It was a handful of European physicists who turned the tide and brought science back to Europe.
They talked about physics, about progress, about bringing nations together through science.
Basically, every physicist in the world wants to work at CERN. You have not only put Europe back on the map, you have become the center of the world for particle physics.
In 2019, near Area 51, tunnel workers recorded something strange happening underground. Footage showed what looked like a portal opening inside the tunnel itself.
There's also this booming sound that's associated with it.
Is this dangerous? Is the whole thing going to collapse?
What the hell's going on here?
The footage spread quietly at first, then exploded once people realized where it was filmed.
There's a very regular pulsation, so it seems like something must be controlling. If you were going to imagine an intergalactic portal to a distant galaxy, this is what it would look like.
If something like this could happen near a heavily secured facility like Area 51, what else was happening in tunnels around the world that we never got to see?
These kinds of wormholes are frequently used as ways to travel interstellar distances in space. They show up in the movie Stargate, they show up in the movie Interstellar as long-distance travel arrangements. So this seems like a really great idea.
In February 2026, Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, an official member connected to CERN, made a statement during a podcast that shocked everyone listening. She said CERN had opened a Stargate beneath the large Hadron Collider.
There's a door, open, a round door, you know, like in the Stargate. And I don't know if it's as big. There is one picture that the person is quite small, actually, on it. You can go and look for those interested. Go and type CERN portal LHC door, and you will see.
And this wasn't a one-time event. According to her, CERN had opened multiple doors, and there were official meetings held in secret rooms.
So in front of the door, they have a room. They probably have many doors, but they have a room, and they sit around the table. And I said, so yeah, what happened? He said, well, an entity came from this portal.
Specifically to discuss what had come through. This wasn't a random YouTube theory. This was a statement from someone who claimed to have been inside the organization.
Sat at the table, and I was like, but how is this entity? What do you mean entity? Is it a person? Is it an alien? What color? Are they like us? And they couldn't answer anything. They said, no, it's not. We know. We just know it at CERN. They cannot describe it, but they have it secondhand. It's not third, fourth. It's a very good friend who knows.
Before her statement, another scientist made a separate claim. He said the collider had been used to open a portal, allowing communication with extraterrestrial beings connected to an object known as 3I, Atlas.
CERN, they've used their collider to open up a portal to communicate with extraterrestrial beings. One of them are the occupants from 3I Atlas.
He described secret rooms. He described tall, physically unusual beings, and he said communication didn't happen through speech.
So those beings introduced themselves as such, like so we are the occupants of this object, and they did not show up physically. They show up as holograms. Now, they apparently showed up as holograms. They look tall, that's what she said, and they communicated telepathically with every single scientist in the room.
It happened through telepathy. According to him, after working there, he personally witnessed something else, a mothership, and aboard it, beings he described as Draco reptilians. He claimed they were coming to this planet soon. Now, if all of this sounds too extreme to be true, consider this.
I believe that the direct reptilians, will be coming to Earth, but as to know what the exact intent, that I could not really say.
Back in 2008, before the collider was ever switched on, a lawsuit was filed in the United States, known as the Doomsday Lawsuit. It argued that CERN's experiments could create dangers on a planetary scale. The case was dismissed. Courts ruled they had no jurisdiction. CERN operates under international agreements that place it outside the authority of any single government or legal system. A machine capable of creating conditions that have never existed on Earth, operating in a space where no court, no government, no authority has the power to stop it. If Dr. Astrid's account is accurate, that lawsuit wasn't just a legal footnote. It may have been the only attempt anyone made to stop this before it started, and it failed. JFK, teleportation, demonstration. John F. Kennedy himself was seen standing inside what looked like a secret military base. In front of him, a soldier was prepared for some kind of demonstration. Moments later, the soldier vanished completely, only to reappear somewhere else in the room. Kennedy watched it and looked impressed by what he was witnessing. If this footage is real, it suggests teleportation technology may have existed decades earlier than anyone has ever admitted.
This apparatus does not move the man. It displaces the space around him. There are no moving parts, no combustion.
Secret room portal. A man was seen entering what looked like a secret underground room. Inside, he activated some kind of advanced machine, and within seconds, a glowing portal opened in front of him. Without hesitation, he stepped through it and disappeared completely. Moments later, he reappeared, walking back out as if nothing unusual had happened. No explanation was given for where he went, or what that machine actually was. Area 51 hypersonic object. This footage has circulated online for a couple of years now. It shows what appears to be a UAP or drone recorded near Area 51, moving slowly through the sky. Then, near the end of the clip, everything changes. The object suddenly shoots forward at hypersonic speed, covering an enormous distance in less than a second before vanishing completely. No known aircraft moves like this. Whatever it was, it left observers with more questions than answers. Unknown location. Two men dressed like scientists were seen working on some kind of device in what looked like a secret facility. As they activated it, a glowing portal began forming in front of them. The location was never identified, and no names were ever attached to the footage. The clip ends before showing what happened next, leaving viewers to wonder exactly where this was filmed and what these two men were really doing. Skinwalker Ranch portal. According to researcher George Knapp, two PhD-level scientists were walking around Skinwalker Ranch when they witnessed something extraordinary. Then, not a normal one. He called it a monster.
Into this tunnel comes a humanoid figure, 7 or 8 feet tall, black, featureless. When it gets out, the tunnel collapses into a ball again. It was almost as if it was a dimensional tunnel.
Underground mystery. While walking through the woods, a man came across something strange beneath a large oak tree. Hidden among the roots and shadows was a hole in the ground, one that clearly hadn't been there before.
I mean, it's out literally in the middle of nowhere, under this big oak. But if you actually take a look down inside, there are stairs down there.
Curious, he leaned in and looked closer. What he saw inside made him step back immediately. He didn't go any further. The footage ends there, leaving viewers to wonder what exactly was waiting underground beneath that tree.
What I find really weird is that all the lights, these lights are on. It tells me that there's still something active.
CERN meeting possession. Allegedly recorded during a CERN meeting, a young woman suddenly began moving in strange, jerky motions. Her body twisted unnaturally, completely out of sync with everyone else in the room. To those watching, it looked less like a seizure and more like something had taken control of her. Nobody in the room reacted the way you'd expect. They just kept going, almost as if this had happened before. Ceremony ritual. In a separate clip, lasting about a minute and a half, another strange ritual was caught on camera. The footage shows movements and symbols that don't match anything from public CERN events. Those who've seen it describe it as deliberate, almost ceremonial, with a level of coordination that suggests it wasn't random. CERN has never addressed this footage directly, and it continues to circulate with no official response. Shiva statue ceremony. In the most disturbing clip from this set, 6 to 8 figures dressed in black robes were recorded slowly walking in a circle. At the center of that circle stood the statue of Shiva, the same one that officially sits outside one of CERN's buildings as a diplomatic gift. But this didn't look like a tour or a photo opportunity. The figures moved with purpose, circling the statue again and again, in a pattern that looked far more like a ceremony than a visit. The Wormhole Highway to Sedona. This is one of the earliest known videos of a man who claimed he could open portals to other places, and possibly other realities.
Things happen much quicker when you're using pure tones rather than the other stuff I was using on YouTube, which had like...
In this clip, he managed to unlock what he called a wormhole highway, a passage leading directly to Sedona. But Sedona wasn't the strangest part. According to those following his work, the land on the other side of this portal had 2 suns in its sky. 2 suns, hanging over a landscape that looked nothing like Earth. Portal through time. In a video that went viral on TikTok, a man was recorded opening what appeared to be a glowing portal in front of him. But this wasn't just an opening to another place.
Ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung vertex portal na ginagamit ko.
According to those who saw it, the scene visible through the portal didn't match the present day at all. Everything inside it looked older, as if the portal was showing a different point in time entirely.
Kaya sa mga nagtatanong kung nakakapunta ko sa iba't ibang lugar at time.
The clip ends before revealing where or when that portal actually led. Artificial black hole experiment. Scientists created their own artificial black hole, not in space, but in a lab, using sound. By cooling atoms to nearly the coldest temperature possible, they formed a strange fluid and pushed part of it faster than sound itself. This created a barrier that trapped sound waves inside, acting like a real black hole's event horizon. The experiment was designed to test Hawking radiation, the theory that black holes slowly leak energy over time. It wasn't a real black hole, but it was close enough to make scientists and viewers very uncomfortable. The boy who warned us. In 2018, a 13-year-old boy named Max Locken went viral for something nobody expected from a teenager. He started talking about something called the single electron theory. According to Max, our entire universe might be running on the behavior of a single electron, moving back and forth so fast that it creates the illusion of countless particles, the illusion of matter, the illusion of reality itself.
Wow. So Brian Greene, the famous physicist who wrote The Elegant Universe, said that the universe, that what reality was infinite universes expanding infinitely. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
It sounded like science fiction, but physicists took notice. Some of his ideas weren't as far-fetched as people assumed. He claimed that CERN's experiments had altered the weight of a single electron. And if his theory was correct, even a tiny change like that, at the most fundamental level of reality, could shift everything. It could shift us into a different version of our own universe. Now, think about everything we've covered. The Mandela effect, the sightings, the portals, the insider claims, the rituals, the leaked footage. What if Max was right? What if something at CERN really did shift the weight of a single electron? The director's own words. This came from the man who ran CERN himself, Sergio Bertolucci, former director of research and scientific computing at CERN, one of the most senior figures the organization ever had. In a public statement not leaked, not anonymous, not disputed, he said, the Large Hadron Collider could open a door to another dimension.
So 3.5 TeV per beam is a very good energy for opening up the door to the new things, and at the same time learn how just to use this machine.
His exact words were that something might come through that door into our world. He also said CERN would be able to close it again. He said that, like, it was reassuring. Think about what that statement actually contains. The director of the most powerful physics facility ever built, confirming publicly that the machine was capable of opening a dimensional door, confirming that something could come through it, and offering as comfort that they believed they could shut it afterward.
Of course, it will take us some time before we convince ourselves that we are looking at new phenomena. We have just to make sure that it's not old phenomena that we don't understand.
No journalist followed up on it. No government body demanded clarification. The statement was made, reported briefly, and then quietly forgotten. But it was never taken back. The man who built the door told you it could open. He just didn't tell you what was waiting on the other side. So here we are. We looked at the machine. We've looked at the sightings. We've heard from insiders. CERN says it's all just science, just particles, just progress. But too many people, in too many places, have reported the same thing. Portals, beings, doors that open and close in seconds, leaving no trace behind. Maybe it's all coincidence. Somewhere beneath that 2.7-kilometer tunnel in Switzerland, something opened that was never meant to be opened. What do you think really happened down there? Let us know in the comments.
It is important because it might really change our vision of nature if some of the things that we are expecting are really there. And it might even be more, because they might be giving us things that we don't expect, which would be even more exciting.
And if this video made you question things a little more than you expected, make sure you're subscribed. There is a lot more to come.